The movie begins in the mid-19th century when a woman named Catherine is getting married to a man named Alexander. After the ceremony, they go to Alexander's father, Boris's estate to start their new life. The housemaid, Anna, helps her get into her nightclothes and asks if she is nervous. Catherine replies she is not, and a few moments later, Alexander arrives in the bedroom. He first asks her if she is comfortable, and she replies yes, before asking to open the windows as she likes the fresh air. Alexander, without addressing her request, orders her to take off her nightdress. Catherine does as she is told and waits for her husband to do something, but Alexander turns off the light and goes to sleep. Over the next few days, Catherine follows a strict routine where she is not allowed outside the house, leading her into a state of boredom. Her husband remains uninterested in her sexually, always sleeping without even talking to her. One day, while Alexander and Boris are in a meeting with other people, Catherine becomes very bored. She asks if she can be excused and leaves the dining room. However, Boris follows her and tells her to wait for her husband before sleeping, as it is her duty. He even orders Anna to sit with her so that she doesn't fall asleep. Catherine and Anna wait silently for Alexander, despite Catherine becoming very sleepy. Finally, Alexander comes to the bedroom, and Anna leaves. Alexander instructs Catherine to take off her nightdress as usual and tells her to face the wall. Then he masturbates while watching her before going to sleep. A few days later, Alexander goes on a trip, and Catherine has breakfast with Boris. She inquires about Alexander's whereabouts, but he tells her it is none of her concern. He also mentions he will leave for a meeting, which means she will be alone with Anna for a while. After Boris departs, Catherine opens the windows for the first time, letting the fresh air in. She then leaves the house and freely roams in the mountains, waving her freedom. After a few days, Catherine is sleeping on her couch when she hears screaming from outside. She quickly puts on her boots and heads to the stable, where she finds Anna wrapped in a sheet, hanging from the ceiling while the groomsmen enjoy the view. One of them, named Sebastian, appears drunk and tells Catherine they are taking time off. He explains they are pretending to weigh a sow, but Anna's leg is sticking out of the sheet, and she is naked. Catherine orders everyone to face the wall and frees Anna. Then, Anna leaves the room naked. Catherine asks Sebastian how much he thinks she would weigh. She wants him to take a guess, but he walks close to her and lifts her. Catherine is startled by Sebastian's action, and she knocks him to the ground before leaving the stable. Catherine rushes back to the house and learns from Anna that the man's name is Sebastian, and he is a new groomsman. That night, Catherine finds herself restless, and, despite Anna's warnings and Boris's earlier caution about not leaving the house, she heads to the fields early the next morning. She encounters Sebastian on her way to the mountain but ignores him. That night, after taking a bath and sitting near a fire in her room, Catherine hears someone entering the house. It is Sebastian. He claims boredom, but when Catherine tells him to focus on his work and attempts to close her bedroom door, Sebastian forces his way in. He ignores her demand to leave and kisses her, leading to an intimate encounter between them. The next morning, Anna enters Catherine's bedroom and is surprised to find her sleeping naked, a sign of her newfound contentment. Despite the risks, Catherine and Sebastian continue their secret encounters, finding solace in each other's company until the unforeseen return of Boris. He confronts Catherine, accusing her of wandering beyond the estate's boundaries, a behavior he demands she cease immediately. Catherine deduces that Anna has betrayed her confidence to Boris, revealing her little trips to the mountains. Yet this revelation does not deter her passion as she continues having an affair with Sebastian. In a separate incident, Anna confronts Sebastian in the forest, subtly revealing her awareness of his illicit relationship with Catherine. She insinuates the potential consequences should Alexander learn of their affair, underscoring the precariousness of their situation. Later, under the veil of night, Anna's curiosity leads her to spy on Catherine and Sebastian through a keyhole, witnessing their intimate moments. A subsequent evening brings tension to the household when Boris requests his favorite wine, only to discover, through Anna's investigation, that Catherine has consumed the entire supply. Infuriated, Boris lashes out at Anna, unjustly holding her accountable for the oversight. He tells her she is responsible for this house's properties and that he will consider it as if she has drunk it. He then forces Anna to get on the ground with her knees and hands as he believes she will be treated like an animal if she acts like one. Anna leaves crawling on her hands and knees. All this happens as Catherine observes this in silence. The situation escalates when Boris discovers the affair. In a fit of rage, he physically assaults Sebastian, whom he finds defenseless in sleep, subsequently locking him up. Catherine's search for Sebastian ends in a distressing revelation of his captivity. When Catherine confronts Boris, he gets really mad at her, not just for her shameful act, but for her shameless confrontation. He scolds her for not being a good wife and for not having any children. Catherine stands up to him by pointing out Alexander's absence, which makes Boris angry enough to slap her. The next day, Boris hopes Catherine has thought about their fight and hopes she will change her behavior to become a good wife. But when she asks him again to free Sebastian, Boris gets very mad, throws a glass at the door, and leaves. He goes to his room, but Catherine locks him inside by jamming a chair under the door handle. She then tells Anna to have breakfast with her because she doesn't like eating alone. Anna doesn't want to at first, but then sits down to eat with Catherine, who starts asking about Anna's family. Suddenly, they hear Boris choking and banging on the door. Anna wants to help him, but Catherine won't let her. They hear a loud thump as Boris falls. Catherine quickly sends Anna to get a doctor from the town. While Anna is gone, Catherine goes to where Sebastian is locked up and kisses his injuries. Soon, a doctor comes and says Boris is dead. The next morning, Catherine is having breakfast when she gets a note from Alexander saying he won't come back for his dad's funeral. Without Boris, Catherine and Sebastian are together more openly. Before Boris's funeral, Catherine decides to have a different, younger maid bring her food instead of Anna. She does this because she doesn't trust Anna anymore. Now Anna doesn't talk to anyone because she seems to have lost the ability to speak for some reason. Sebastian is scared that if Alexander returns, Anna might tell him everything, but Catherine believes Anna will stay quiet. One night, while Catherine and Sebastian are asleep, Alexander returns home without warning. Sebastian hides quickly, and Catherine gets ready to meet her husband. Alexander is surprised to find Catherine up so late and notices a belt on the floor. Catherine tells Alexander she found the belt in the field, but he's still suspicious. She tries to distract him with tea, but he accuses her of being unfaithful while he was away. He says he's heard rumors about her and even notices she looks different. Alexander is upset because he hates being the subject of gossip and decides she must be punished. He plans to keep Sebastian away and lock Catherine inside the house forever. Despite the danger, Catherine bravely reveals Sebastian's hiding spot and defiantly shows her love for him in front of Alexander. When Alexander reacts violently, Catherine defends herself and Sebastian by hitting Alexander with a metal bar, ultimately killing him. They bury Alexander's body and his horse in the woods, making sure no one finds out. Sebastian is terrified by what they've done. Catherine reassures him, saying she saved his life from Alexander's wrath and now he's the man of the house. The next day, they sit together, dining like a married couple, and it seems like they might finally be happy. But then, a woman named Agnes arrives with a young boy, Teddy, claiming he is Alexander's son from an affair with her daughter. After her daughter passed away, Alexander took Teddy in, making it official with legal papers. Now, with Alexander gone, Agnes and Teddy move into the estate. Catherine shares this shocking news with Sebastian, who struggles to accept the new situation. Their newfound peace is disrupted as Agnes and Teddy integrate into their daily lives, dining and moving freely around the house. Soon after, Catherine discovers she is pregnant, which complicates matters further. Teddy grows fond of Catherine, spending more and more time with her, which isolates Sebastian even more. Catherine tries to connect with Sebastian in the stable, but he pushes her away, frustrated that while he is relegated to the stable, she and Teddy share the comfort of the house. Hurt, Catherine retreats to her room, isolating herself for several days. Her solitude is interrupted when she sees Sebastian walking into the woods with a maid, compelling Catherine to follow. In her haste, she inadvertently pushes Teddy aside when he seeks her attention. Subsequently, the household realizes Teddy is missing, prompting a frantic search. Sebastian, despite his earlier resentment, finds Teddy near a waterfall and carries him back home. However, Agnes is furious that Sebastian, whom she considers an outsider, entered the house uninvited with Teddy. Feeling cornered and desperate, Sebastian decides to leave, but Catherine convinces him to stay, promising a resolution. After convincing Sebastian, she returns to Teddy's room where he is being watched by Agnes. She then asks Agnes to leave Teddy under her care, claiming she will watch over him as Agnes is visibly tired. Once Agnes departs, Catherine invites Sebastian in, and they use this opportunity to end Teddy's life, suffocating him with a pillow while he sleeps. As dawn breaks, Catherine sits motionless beside Teddy's lifeless body, her face marked by sorrow and exhaustion as she wipes her tears off her face. When Anna enters the room and witnesses this horror, she runs to wake Agnes. Meanwhile, overwhelmed by guilt and despair, Sebastian breaks down, crying alone in the woods. Although his dream of becoming the man of the house is coming true, the cost is unbearable. When the village doctor questions Catherine about Teddy's bruises, she blames the waterfall incident which happened hours before his death. However, as the local authorities try to figure out what happened here, Sebastian bursts in, weighed down by guilt, and confesses their involvement in Teddy's death. He doesn't stop there. He exposes Catherine's darker deeds, revealing her role in Alexander's murder and implicating her in Boris's death. Despite Sebastian's testimony, Catherine completely denies the accusations labeling Sebastian as a liar. She cunningly shifts the blame onto Sebastian and Anna, exploiting their secret meetings in the woods and the known fact that Boris had violently beaten up Sebastian shortly before his death. Knowing Anna's inability to speak, she tells them to confront Anna, but Anna remains silent, convincing the authorities that perhaps Anna and Sebastian are the real culprits. The local authorities now act based on Catherine's words, leading them to detain Sebastian and Anna. In the aftermath, the estate becomes desolate as the households depart one by one, leaving Catherine in her grand but hollow solitude. The movie ends with Catherine alone in the vast estate, with her unborn child and stained with blood. And the movie also ends here. Don't go anywhere. Click the video on your screen to keep these wild movie recaps rolling. Smash that like button and subscribe for more insane movie adventures. I'll catch you film fanatics on the next one.